Hello, everyone. I realize I always look surprised when I go live. I know we're going live. It's Alisa Meredith here, and today we are talking about how to start a membership the easy way. And I am joined by my friend Jillian Leslie, and she is the co-founder of Milotree and a friend of mine. And we're working on a cool new project together, which we will share with you in a moment. How you doing, Leslie? Or Jillian?
Jillian,
I
hi.
don't know why is that happening. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. And people, believe me, it happens all the time.
Yeah, I get Meredith all the time too, so I should
See?
know better.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you. You're calling in from Austin. How is the home renovation going?
Can you see it? Oh, wait.
I
Can you see?
yeah, I'm always looking back there to see if that plastic is gone. It's not gone.
No, the good news is it's good news and bad news. The workers aren't here today, so therefore it's not loud. However, the workers are not here today, which means it's not moving forward.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm hoping by Thanksgiving.
That's a good goal.
That
I'm
is a
hoping
good
so
goal.
too for you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you're just joining us or you're watching the replay, thank you so much for being here. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about. As usual, too many questions. So we may have to do a number two. Good evening, Brian. Still in Barcelona, I imagine.
Ooh.
Brian is a wedding photographer and he's all over the place, and I'm super jealous.
I want to be in Barcelona.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. All right, so the reason we're talking about this is because people in business, they want to help more people in less time and make more money. That's kind of the magical combination, right? So do you think a membership is a good way to do that?
I think the more that I learn from our audience, from people that we coach, I think a membership is a fantastic way to make more money, and for a variety of reasons. The first is if you have an audience that you are serving, there is money in that audience, and I don't think we think that way, and it's a win-win. If I can serve my audience more closely, more intimately, I'm providing more value. And if they are paying me for that, I then am able to monetize that. And what's great about it is it's a way to take your audience off of just relating to them, let's say on social media, and build stronger connections. Understand what your true fans really want from you. And then it's a great way to, for example, build new products or create new content. But it's something so personal. And in fact, I talk a lot to people who have memberships, and I keep hearing the same thing, which is I do this for the community. I do this for the connection. I do this because I want to help people. And if you are inspired by those things, I think there's no better way to serve your community than to start a membership.
Cool. So when we talk about a membership, typically people pay by the month or by the year to have some kind of special access to a group or a community, like you were saying. Okay. All right. So let's say this sounds really good to me. What should it be about?
Well, here's a good thing to think about.
Okay.
What are you an expert in? And I say that with a small e, because then people go, oh my God, I'm not an expert in anything. And I'm not talking about needing any sort of PhD. I am talking about being maybe 1.5 steps ahead of your community, of where they are. So Alisa, can I out you as a painter?
Sure, you can.
Oops, okay. So so you do, and what is it called? Like freeform painting or
fluid art?
Fluid art. Fluid art. And it's a passion of yours. And chances are you're in communities of people who are doing this and you're learning from them, but people are also learning from you. And so that is something that you're passionate about, you know something about, and you can then create a community around this. So think about, what are you a small e expert in, and what would make you feel inspired to help others on their journey? That's the idea. It's like we're all in this together. I was talking to a woman yesterday and she's super into native gardening. And that means plants that grow naturally where you live. So it's like
Hmm.
Texan, for where I am, it'd be like Texan native plants. And the truth is, most of the plants in our yards aren't native. But if you can focus on the native plants, you're helping the environment, right? You're helping the bees pollinate and the butterflies and all that stuff. And so she's built a whole community around teaching people how to plant native plants in their yards. And she's super passionate about it, and she has found a community of people who are equally as passionate.
Wow. If you're watching today or you're watching the replay, give us a comment. Let us know if starting a membership is something you've thought about, and if you're thinking about what it should be, let us know what the questions are, because Jillian has been talking, like she said, to many course creators, content creators, membership owners, and has a lot of great insight that we're going to dig into today. And hopefully by the end of this, you will be ready to start your own membership.
That'd be awesome. Now, here's something. Can I talk for a minute about courses versus memberships?
Sure, you can.
And why I like memberships better.
Okay.
So I think creating a course sounds great. However, creating that course can be difficult, recording all the videos, creating the PDFs, that kind of thing, structuring it. And I think people hold you to a higher standard when you create a course. For my course that I created, like, one of the main comments was the content was really great, but the video quality wasn't as good. And I'm like, oh my God, do I go back and do I record all the videos again, even though the content is good? Because the lighting wasn't as good. I think there was like a rainstorm when I was recording the videos.
Yeah.
But what's great about a membership, it's like it is showing up, especially if there's a live component to it, which I highly recommend in your membership. We're more forgiving, like, you're not judging me right now because, like, I've got this big construction site or my hair looks messy. I'm here, I'm live. Hopefully you feel
You're
this
real.
connection. I'm real.
Mhm.
And it's not polished and beautiful, but it's me authentically. And I think that's what we crave. But when creating courses is difficult, takes a lot of time, and there's no guarantee then, unless you sell it before you create it, there's no guarantee that you're going to sell it. And selling then becomes a whole other thing unto itself. And like, with your course, your Pinterest course, all of a sudden, half the material is no
Oh,
longer, it's all outdated. If
yeah.
Pinterest changes, now you've got to go record new things. And so you're always kind of updating. And what's great about a membership is you could show up today and go, guess what? Pinterest made a change. We all need to know about this. Let's stay up to date. Let's talk about it, because next week, Pinterest could make a different change.
It's so true. I ended up doing all my updates in a private Facebook group just for members of the course. But that ended up being a lot more valuable than the course I had created. Because like you said, it all changed. And when I was recording mine, my next door neighbors were lighting fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah. And
But
if I'd done that.
if they were doing it right now, we'd all be laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'd all be like, oh, there it goes again. And so there is
Mm-hmm.
just this kind of showing up as real people that's very different than in a course where people will be like, why are there fireworks in your course?
Yeah. It's a special feature. Okay, so this is one that I struggle with because I have brought this to you. What if it seems like everyone is creating a membership? I feel like I'm too late. Why would someone pay to get free content when I'm giving out free content? Talk me out of that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, Alisa, there's
Yeah.
only one Alisa. There's only one Alisa. And Alisa, you have been on my podcast 5 times. Yeah, I think you are the most, you're like my most popular guest. You have been there. And why do I invite you back? Because yes, you're my friend, but I think you are an amazing teacher. I think you're a great communicator. I feel like you're always supportive. You're always on the creator's side. By the way, is that me? Am I making noise or anything?
I don't hear
Or
anything.
maybe there's an echo. Okay. And see, again, it's live.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so my point is that people will want to join your membership because you're leading it, and there's no other Alisa. And you have a certain knowledge base and people trust you. So it doesn't matter if there are other Pinterest experts. As I say in all of my teachings, in all of my podcast, which by the way is called the Blogger Genius Podcast, in my coaching group, the internet is a really big place. And so there's room for Alisa and there's room for all these other Pinterest experts. It doesn't matter because all you need are the people who connect to you. And there are enough of them. No, and then you go, well, what if they aren't there? And I go, test it. Maybe you're right, but maybe I'm right. And maybe then you start it and you ask your people, because the hope is that you attract your true fans, right? Maybe there are 5 of them. Maybe it's the photographer, right? Who's like, I'm going to show up for Alisa. And so then you say to him, what can I do to help you? How can I make sure that my content is resonating with you? And this is, again, the difference between a membership and a course. You've already created the course. So it's not like you can pivot in the middle of the course. But if you got this engaged audience, you got these members and they can say, hey, Alisa, here's what we want to know about Pinterest ads. Hey, how about some Instagram in there? Hey, how about idea pins, like whatever it is? How about blog posts? And how about if it's painting and you do a painting membership?
Yeah.
So it's like you get to be responsive immediately to people in your group.
Yeah, Brian makes a great point too. That
Brian, yes,
having that group, they can support each other and add to the conversation.
Here's a secret that people don't want to admit. Most people, you sell your course to them, they won't finish your course.
So true.
I know, it's like a dirty secret. It's like, I think if 10% of the people who buy your course actually finish it, that's a really good conversion rate. Wow. Therefore, but if you're showing up live as Alisa and I want to hang out with you. So we just did actually this morning, we just finished it at noon, our time. We just did for our group, we have a membership group, our group of vloggers and online entrepreneurs, we did our October workshop, right? And we were talking about how to make money by the end of the year.
Okay.
And going through different things you can do. And I could call on somebody and go, okay, Cheryl, what does this inspire? Like, what ideas are sparking for you? Share it with the group. And that's the thing, Brian, you are so right. If I do a course, I'm off by myself. Like, so much of my job is kind of lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know I'm going to show up with a group of like-minded people because we're painting or we're learning about Pinterest or blogging or building businesses, I've got these cheerleaders. So somebody in the group who's a food blogger is going to be in a magazine for the holidays because her cookie recipe is going to be in there. And literally the whole group was applauding for her.
Yeah, that is cool.
And it's like, that's not me. That's the group. Like, the group takes on its own vibe, its own energy.
Okay. Well, that's cool. All right. So how do I get people to join? How did you get people to join? How are the people you talking to getting people to join? Because that's a scary thing, right? Like, you put yourself out there and you're afraid nothing's going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, I do recommend you be talking to your audience. And it doesn't have to be a big audience, but hopefully the idea of starting a membership comes from the fact that there are people talking back to you. And I always recommend the best way to sell anything is first via email. I think email has the highest conversion rate for actual purchasing, but you talk about it everywhere. And you talk about it on social. You talk about it in your Instagram stories. You make reels about it. You make TikToks about it. You post on Facebook. You post in groups. In fact, weirdly, I had a guest on my podcast and she grew her membership by posting in other people's Facebook groups. Now, I don't know what those Facebook groups were because a lot of times it can seem kind of spammy. Yeah. However, that's how she did it because she tapped into a community of like-minded people. So yes, is that something that you kind of have to face and see? Absolutely. But this is another thing. This is why it's so great. Go start your membership. And we're creating a way for you to build a membership without paying anything at the beginning until you get paid
That
members.
helps. That helps a lot.
But this way, though, you're not building the course. People say, oh, sell your course before you make it. And I go, absolutely. Because,
That's great.
God forbid you spend 6 months of your life building a course and then nobody buys it. You can spend 15 minutes setting up a membership with us. Go test it. Go see if people will join. And I do recommend starting it even if you have 2 people and your mom. Because you will learn.
Speaking of which, I want to bring up Phoebe Moon's comment here. You have a good point. I signed up for Alisa's text so that I would never miss her when she goes live. It's more personal, more real, more important. She's a real person. She thinks I'm a real person.
You are, though, but that's the thing.
But I also want to say thank you, because I was wondering who the person aside from Jeff, who I made test it for me, and my mother, who I also made test it for me, was on my list. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. So again, you talk about, and this is the other thing. We think that we're talking about stuff a lot, like, oh my God, like today. Okay. So in my group, somebody said one of the tips that we gave for growing your revenue at the end of the year is send an email series, a helpful email series of like your gift guide or something like that. And she goes, oh, but I already send a weekly email. So should this be in addition, or should this replace the existing email? And I said, if you have the bandwidth, do it in addition. If you're providing value, people aren't going to be like, I've heard from you too much. Because you sent me 2 emails this week during the holidays to be helpful to me. Like, you're not just wasting my time, you're actually providing me value. Go send it. So we think that like, I'm being so salesy. People are so tired of me. They're not paying attention to you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking now, if I had a group, I would have been in there yesterday, because there are a whole bunch of Pinterest changes coming up. Yeah, it's it would be a great thing to have, because if I went live on my page, nobody would see it, right? But in a group, people tend to pay more attention. It gets a bit more distribution. I think we could argue that it doesn't get as much as it used to from Facebook, but it's still definitely better than a page.
Right. Well, here's the thing, hopefully there's a way for you to connect with your group. So the way that our product called Milotree Easy Payments works is we connect your customers to your email service provider. So not necessarily that. So that's usually the way that you can email your people or like text them and say, hey guys, I just went, like, you go live and you can, let's say you go live in your private Facebook group and you talk about these new Pinterest changes, which I, of course, want to know, by the way. And so you record it. And then you know what you do? You email all your members with a link to it on the Facebook group. You grab the link on Facebook and you go, hey guys, I just recorded something. Watch this and put your questions in the Facebook group and I'll answer them. And next time we go live, like maybe you do sessions, I don't know, once a week, like where people can tune in live, you go, we'll talk about this. But do you notice, just even me describing this, there's an intimacy to it. There's a sense of like, Alisa wants me as a member of her group to know this, not like Alisa's speaking to the world. And I might catch it or I might not, but like, Alisa's there. She's got my back.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right. So we've talked a little bit about email. We've talked about going live. What kinds of things go in a membership?
Okay. So this is an interesting thought.
Okay.
People kind of think they need to have a library of material sitting somewhere that people can access in your membership. Like, that's the value. And I say, great. Like, let's say you're doing a Pinterest. Let's go to your painting, right?
Okay.
Like, maybe there are certain techniques, or maybe there are certain tools that you've got a list of stuff that if somebody wants to do painting, they need this brush or this these are the whatever. And you can put a PDF together and keep it in the group. Now you can add it to your private Facebook group. Remember, you can add PDFs there and you can then have it as a resource in what used to be called a unit. I think now it's called something else.
Okay.
But you can have it there and you can have a link to it so that, when somebody joined your group, you send the link and go get these supplies. Let's say there's a beginning painting technique and you make a video of it and you go, here's the beginning painting technique you're going to need as we move forward in this group. But the truth of the matter is this is another one of those secrets that people don't share. Most people do not go back and access your library. They just don't. We're too busy. Therefore, it's great to have that as a resource. If somebody says, well, what brushes do you recommend? And you go, oh, here, I'm going to email you this link with the PDF, and then you know the brushes you need. But people don't have the time to be hanging in your library of materials. Plus, they don't want to learn a new platform or have to dig around for stuff. What if it's outdated? You know, what if you haven't updated the supply list in a long time and a bunch of it's sold out, or who knows? Or you're teaching Pinterest and all those, you've made all these videos, but they're not really relevant today. So people will only really go back and consume that material if you're sending it to them. If you're like going, hey, you just joined my group, let me send you these 2 videos and a supply list for my painting group. This is what you need to know. Therefore, most of the value comes from 2 places. It comes from you as my guide, as my leader. I like to think of the membership person. You're like my camp counselor, right? And
Fun.
we're your campers. So you say, okay, today we're going to sit in a circle and sing these songs, right? As little campers, like we're going to do this painting technique and I'm going to show you how, or we're going to show up together. We're going to paint together, whatever. You're the camp counselor. So people show up for that and they show up for each other. And
great.
Those are the 2 most important things. So it's not your library of resource materials. You know, if you have a printable library and that, you know, for teachers and that's what people are coming for, that's different. But I'm talking about where you're leading me in something. You're creating community for me.
Okay, that should take some of the pressure off. Now, if you're watching and you've been thinking about starting a membership, please drop your questions. Let us know what you're thinking about for a topic for your membership. We'll love to hear it and love to kind of tailor some of the examples to that for you. All right, so the big thing is
by the way, because I've been talking to Alisa about this a lot, which is I think Alisa needs to start a membership. So if you agree with me, let her know. And let her know painting, Pinterest. Would you say those are the 2 you're thinking about? Or social media?
Yeah, it will probably end up being mainly Pinterest.
Okay.
At the beginning anyway. Yeah. Thank you for that. Jillian's my cheerleader.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what you've been working on, Milotree Easy Payments, because we've kind of dropped some hints about it. But what is this thing and what does it do?
Okay. So Milotree Easy Payments, by the way, Alisa is helping me with marketing and strategy for our launch. And I, of course, because I love Alisa and I think she is so talented, that I said, Alisa, can I get a couple hours from you? And really, so that you can help me think through this and help me launch it. Like I want her to be, I want to use her brain. So anyway, so Milotree Easy Payments is a payment platform for people wanting to start memberships. And I work with my partner, who's my husband, David, and we built technology. We build things for people to use, predominantly creators. What we already know is creators don't love technology. They use it every day. That's not their love. And people who are starting memberships want to serve their audiences. That's the feedback we get. That's what they want to do. So we want to make that as easy for you as possible. So all you do is you sign. And by the way, you can get your membership set up in 10 minutes. Like that's it. Like no platforms to learn, no nothing. And what we say is sign up for a Milotree Easy Payments account, connect your Stripe. You're going to create Stripe, which is it's a credit card payment system that we so believe in. It's all over the internet. Everybody uses Stripe. And this is so you can get paid. Then name your product, name what it is, name your membership. You can also use this for a one-off workshop or some sort of event. Name it, price it, tell me if it's monthly or yearly, and then boom, and connect your email service. We connect with all the major email services. And then we give you a link. We call it a money button. And really, this is a payment link. So then you're in your Facebook group and you go, who wants to join my group? Here's my link. Sign up. Boom. Person signs up, and all that email address gets sent to your email service provider. And now you've got people in your membership. And we also offer you templates for sales pages. So you don't even have to work that hard. We're ultimately coming up with a sales page creator, automatically creates your sales page, and then you can share that link and get people to sign up. So boom, done. Now then you go, where am I going to host my membership? Well, I say wherever you want. We are what I call platform agnostic. You don't have to sign up for a big platform like Teachable or Kajabi or anything like that. What I say is show up where you want. Predominantly, my recommendation is host it in a private Facebook group as like your kind of home base. You can put your content, your PDFs, your videos and stuff in your private Facebook group. Communicate with your people on a regular basis via email. Boom, you got a membership. You might want to use Zoom and do like Zoom meetings and then download the Zoom afterwards, upload it to your Facebook group. Like, it's easier than people think. And that's what I want to do, is make it so easy for you that it's, and oh wait, and here's the best part. We don't make any money until you make money. So, you know, a lot of these platforms, you're paying $39 a month, if not more. If you get new signups, guess what? You're still paying that. Well, all we do is we take a small transaction fee. You could set up Milotree Easy Payments and not use it for a year. You're not paying for it. It's only when you start getting members. And we did that on purpose because we want to be aligned with you. We are then betting on your success.
Yeah. And I feel like that with the people we've talked to, that has really been like, oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like resonated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say I set up an account, and the hardest part was the Stripe, using Stripe. And that really wasn't very hard. So
no, and I'm going to make a video on how to do it. And it's kind of like, it's because, you know, they have to be really careful that people aren't like money laundering through Stripe. It's like setting up for a bank account. So therefore you have to put in a lot of details so that they know you're a real person and you're not like part of the Russian mob.
That special filter.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know?
That's great. Yeah. So one of the things too we found when speaking to some membership owners, and these are very experienced people, and one of the things you already mentioned, like, no matter how smart you are, you probably don't like messing with technology, and you know, a lot of these platforms require you to. Another thing is, even if you get one of those all-in-one platforms, you're still putting things together, right?
Totally. That was an interesting thing we both discovered. You're paying for this all-in-one platform, like Kajabi's like the Cadillac of these platforms. Yeah. And now I've spoken to a couple people, more than a couple, who use Kajabi, and they love certain parts of it. They don't love other parts, and they're having to use something like, this is where you got to like use your technology. They have to use Zapier, which is like a program that you need to have their things talk to each other. And they're all setting up their external email services to Kajabi using Zapier. And we're like, hey, we'll just do that for you.
Yeah.
It was like, wasn't that an interesting realization that no matter what, they're buying the Cadillac, and then they still have to hack together this like crazy, like Frankenstein solution.
Right. So just use what you already have and what you already love. And I think one of the things that you said to me the first time we were talking about it is like, use the best of the best. Like, use the best email service provider, use the best hosting platform, and then just have the payments come through Milotree Easy Payments.
And also, like, your audience knows what Zoom is, you know? It's like you then end up sending your members to some other platform
Oh,
that
true,
they
right.
then have to learn. I don't know about
Yeah,
you, but like
download an app or
I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to download your app. Like, I don't want to have to go and navigate some other platform. I have so many platforms I have to navigate. I don't need another one.
Yep, that's a great point. All right. If you're out there listening and you're thinking you might want to start a membership, let me know. What are you thinking about building?
Is this inspiring you,
Me
Alisa?
personally?
Yes.
It is. I go back and forth though, because
Okay.
I have the same doubts I think everybody else does, which is like, what if nobody shows up? Right? But the thing is, unlike a course, it's not like you're putting hours and hours of work into it. You're just showing up, and if people come, that's great.
Like
Yeah.
we have this membership that I was talking about
Yes.
today.
Talk about that.
And I have to say, okay, so we literally, oh, this is the other thing too. Ready for it? And this is another one of these kind of secrets. I should write these down because I should like do a video on this. Less is more. Less is more. The one thing you don't want to do is overwhelm your members. Like there's a part on like my part of I'm hosting a membership. I want people to think there's so much value, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need to show up all the time with more stuff that they need to learn, blah, blah, blah. And the truth is that that can be a real negative because all of a sudden now, if I'm emailing you all the time going, and then there's this video, and there's this, and you got to do this, you go, oh my God, it's too much. And I can't keep up and I'm going to churn, which means I'm going to cancel. Mostly because it makes me feel bad about myself.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, we do have a question from Liz. What if they only need your services for a window of time?
So that's great. So let's say, Liz, will you share what you're thinking? Like, let's say, it's going to be 2022, which is crazy. And let's say you decide you want to do like a 3-month, like, let's get healthy challenge, right? Well, what's great is you could price it. And within Milotree Easy Payments, you can create this as a one-off event. So you charge, let's say, $99. And people can sign up for it. And it's going to be 3 months or whatever you decide. And boom, you got it. So it can be month to month, or it can be just a one-time price. So there's tremendous flexibility when it comes to that.
Okay, I have a question then. Do you think it would be a good way to test this out to set up a one-time event? Like on the topic. Okay, great. So
I do.
Okay, so let's maybe use Liz's example. She designs homes, so once they're done, bye Felicia. Yeah, I totally get that. You know what? That happens in every business though, right? You help them, they get what they need, and then they move on, and that's great. That means that you did your thing, like what you're supposed to do. So okay, Liz is thinking, I might want to start a group. I'm a little intimidated by that. What might be a good like one-off event that she might plan and sell?
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, for example, here we're doing our kitchen, right? Mm-hmm. So what if you, and I was just reading an article today, Liz, in the Wall Street Journal about how people can't get appliances because of all because of the supply chain issues and because of the chips. I guess lots of appliances have chips. It's a big deal. So what if you were to do a one-time workshop for people who want to renovate their kitchens, and what you see as how best to organize it? Because the one thing that I would say is I didn't realize how many moving parts there are to renovating a kitchen, because and how things have to happen in a certain order. So if something gets like slowed down at one stage, you can't kind of skip over that stage and move on. So what if you were to do like, hey, how to renovate your kitchen in this crazy time? And you would talk about what to do. Like, are there places that that I could get appliances? Where are like the best places I can get appliances? Or are there certain appliances, for example, where they're not having a shortage? Or how to think about using my original appliances so I don't have to worry about that. But like, what could I do to renovate my kitchen.
Yeah.
And so you do a one-time event. Maybe you have a PDF at the end of it that you offer people with some sort of easy checklist on here's a good one, budgeting your renovation and how not to go over budget. Because I have to tell you, I don't think that that's possible. I would take your course, Liz, if you taught that. So it's like, how do you take a problem, break it down, especially if it's temporal, meaning it's happening now. Lots of people are home like me, and they want a new kitchen, but they're dealing with the fact that there's like a lumber shortage and all this. Like, could you speak to me now with my problems and do a one-time course? And you charge, it depends. You could charge $30. You could charge, it's an hour. We're going to show up on Zoom. If you can't be there live, I'm going to send you a recording to the Zoom, and you can, and then, by the way, when I do my workshop or I do my membership on small renovations, you can do, who knows, chances are, if I deliver in the workshop, you will come back and buy that.
Okay, I want to bring up, because Liz has been talking to us in the chat here. One of the things she said is, yes, that's on my list for YouTube videos. Yes, read my blog. But you know what I'm going to say? You should get paid for that. Right, Liz? Yeah. And maybe I don't want to read your blog. I want to hear from you in the moment.
And maybe I've got questions. Exactly. So I've got my own specific questions. One thing that we say, we've done like live workshops and stuff, is I always say in the copy, on the sales page, we'll stay for as long as you have questions. So it's an hour, and you'll get the recording, so you don't even have to be there live. And if you have questions beforehand and you can't be there live, I say, email me your questions and we'll deal with that. We'll talk about them, make sure we cover them. But I'm going to stay as long as you have questions. So what you're paying for in your $39 to show up is access to me in that moment. Because that way I don't have, it's so funny. And I think you had written this as a question, which is, all the information that you could ever need is on the internet. Why would I then pay $39 to show up for your workshop on renovating my kitchen? Well, the reason is I don't want to do the research to find the answer on the internet. I want to be able to go directly to an expert who's going to give me the answer. This is one of the reasons why I say, sure, have a library for your membership, but don't assume people are necessarily going to go like digging through your library. They want answers to stuff now. So if you can provide that, that's a really big service and really helpful. And especially if you're a really good translator, they will come back for more. Like Alisa, you're my Pinterest expert. There's tons of information out there about Pinterest, but I know if I go directly to you, you're going to answer it. You're not going to make me feel dumb. You're going to kind of explain it to me. You're going to you're my Pinterest educator. And I know a lot of Pinterest experts, and you're my Pinterest educator because I jive with you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a great point, right? There's only one Jillian, right? There's only one Liz.
One Alisa.
One Brian.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Great.
Yeah. So that is, again, what I would recommend. So for you, Alisa, is test it in a workshop one time.
I like that idea.
And the difference between that and this, and yes, you are giving personal attention to people who are here. And so that's like your vibe. But picture you've got a group of people and they all start to get to know each other and they all start to help each other. It's like magic. But it's a great way to test this, because here's the thing. If you do a workshop, who's going to show up? Your true fans who probably already know each other, who probably, want a deeper connection to you. And something about doing it as a workshop, it feels different than doing it as a just a regular Facebook Live. It feels more intimate. We are all putting our money on the table and saying, we want to lean into this. Not like, well, I'm doing a million things and I've got Netflix on the TV and I've got you on my computer. It's like, no, I'm here. I paid money for this.
Yeah. Yeah, and Brian brings up a good point that there's a lot of lots of bad information on the web. So talking to somebody who can cut through all the asterisks is valuable.
Completely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, we like, I don't know about you, but like I've got my COVID people that I go to, and like, and again, I don't know if they are trustworthy, but I think they are. And so when they speak, I'm like, okay, those are the people I listen to, you know? And so like, that's where they're like, hey, I have my experts. Like, Alisa, you're my Pinterest expert. You're my marketing expert. So I know to go to you for that. You know, I don't go to you for like, I go to you for curly hair stuff.
Oh yes, we do talk about curly hair.
You're my
Yes.
curly hair expert.
But you would not go to me on tax advice,
No,
or
no,
accounting.
no,
Certainly not.
no,
Or kitchen renovation.
no,
No.
no.
All right. Okay. So how did you because you have a membership right now. Can you tell us a little bit about like how you host it, where it lives, what you offer in it, and especially like, how did you get people there?
Okay. Wow. Okay.
That's a lot. Okay, let's
Yeah, no, no,
start
no.
with
Let's break it down.
yes. Okay, so where do you host it? Where does it live?
Okay. The main kind of hub is a private Facebook group.
Okay.
Right? David and again, talk about less is more. This is all it is. We go live, and by the way, it's $45 a month. We go live twice a month, 2 times. That's it. The first Thursday and the third Thursday of every month at noon Central Time. Some people work full time, so they can't be there, but we go live on Zoom, so everybody's together. It's small. Like I kind of have opened it, and now I'm just kind of keeping it closed because it's like, these are my people. We don't even do this really to make money. We do this because these are my testers, and these are like my people, and I get to hear from them. This is how we came up with the idea of Milotree Easy Payments, was listening to our members.
That's smart.
Okay, so we meet twice a month on Zoom. I email them, and there's a private Facebook group. So once the Zoom call happens, like it's doing right now, I download the Zoom and I upload it into the Facebook group. Then about like in an hour, I send an email to everybody in the group with a link to the Facebook, the Zoom video that's being hosted on Facebook. So it's a link on Facebook, and I go, hey, thank you to those who came. For those who couldn't be there, no worries. Here's a link to the video.
Okay.
Then what I do is I offer homework. Like, this is something, Alisa, where I recommend you think about this. I offer homework. So today I'm teaching about making money at the end of the year. And I gave 6 ideas, right? You know, create a gift guide, update your existing holiday posts or your posts that do well in December, create some idea pins with affiliate links, create some web stories with affiliate links, do an email series. I don't remember all 6, but create a product, those kinds of things. And what I said for homework and I always try to motivate with the carrot, not the stick. I say, if you do any of these things, send it to me by the end of the month, and I will review it and give you feedback.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Now, certain people, like, they're too busy, and that's fine. It's like no shame. But if you do it, guess what? You're going to get fresh eyes on this. You're going to get somebody to say, hey, great, I might fix, I might change this. If you send me your entire email series, I'll read. I mean, like, I say, do like a holiday email series. You send it to me, I'll read it and give you feedback. So I say, pick something and do it, but you have to do it by the end of the month. Otherwise, like, it goes away, and then there'll be a new assignment next month. But that way, it's not that I care. I just want to give them a deadline. I want a ticking clock. I don't want to keep it open-ended.
Well, it's a lot more motivating. Yeah.
Exactly. I want to motivate them and say, hey, here's the offer. Go do this. Okay. And then we show up second Thursday of the month for a Q&A session where they can ask us anything they've got. And I post, by the way, in the Facebook group saying, hey, put your questions here, or come to the Q&A session and ask us live. But if it's like a technical question, because David can answer any technical questions, it'd be better if you give us to us early in case he has to do some research or something like that. We show up on Thursdays, we go through and then what we'll do is talk about the session that we did, like we did today, any questions about holiday content, that kind of thing. But then we open it up. Any question you have about your business. And again, it could be a WordPress question, it could be a Pinterest question. If I don't know the answer, I might go to you, Alisa. And so we then answer general questions, but then we do this thing that I love where I check in on people and I go, hey, Jeanette, how's it going? Let's talk about I'll say, what is something that's going well in your business and what is something you're struggling with? And you know what is like a magic moment for me? It's when somebody says, this is what I'm struggling with, and somebody else chimes in, says, I had that same problem, here's how I did it, or I used this resource, or I used this WordPress plugin, or here's where I sold my mugs and got my mugs designed. And to see that cross-pollination is so cool. It's so satisfying. Yeah. So it's not just us like on a bully pulpit kind of going, hello, little people, let me help you with your business. It's like, and I talk about my own struggles in my own business. Here's what we're working on. Here's what we've been struggling with. So I'm completely transparent.
Yeah, that's good.
And yet we're able to have this community.
Okay, let's talk for a minute about size. So is your group like 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 30 to 50? Like what range are we
talking? Kind of like 20 to 30.
20, 30. Okay.
And I like it that size, so I'm kind of keeping it that size.
Yeah.
So how did I sell it initially? Yeah. Right? Because what I did was this is how we did this 6-week kind of entrepreneur teaching group, right? Where I would kind of open the cart and for 6 weeks, I walk you through how to build a business, how to start your blog. And like we would do step by step.
Was this a paid program?
Paid program, okay. Paid program. And I think we did, and this was during the pandemic. I think we did a lot of them. Like, I think we did like 3 or 4 a year.
Oh, wow.
Where we would open it and close it. And then what happened was, again, this is where your audience, so I wasn't trying to start a membership. It was after we finished our first group and people said, oh, we don't want to end this. Like we're kind of connected. We're connected to you. We're connected to each other. How do we continue? And I went, oh, I'm going to start a membership and you can join and we'll just keep going. And that was how, I haven't thought about this in so long. That was how it started. So then when we would do the next group, a group of people at the end would be like, I want to continue on. And they would join the membership. And so, and I'd give them like a special bonus to join, that kind of thing. And then over time, like I barely have advertised it. So the way that it worked was it came from the 6-week coaching group into the membership.
Okay.
And some people have been with us from the beginning. The first group.
So for us here, and I'm thinking about Liz specifically and myself, do you think it would work to have that one-off workshop feed into a group?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Because guess why? Because you have people right there who've opened up their wallets, put their credit card out and paid you. And if you can deliver, they'll pay you again. So it's like a great way for them to test you out and for you to test them out, meaning you get to learn where are they struggling? Yeah. What are their issues? And by the way, I want to say this. The first time we did our membership, I put together a rough draft of like, I want to do this for 6 weeks. What are the 6 things I want to teach? And I showed up and we taught the first one. And then I completely changed the second one based on what I learned from the first one. I was making it up on the fly. This is again, that idea of like, don't make your course like, and think you're going to just like know what people want and sell it. So I would show up in the second one. I had an idea of what it was going to be and I would teach. So I would learn what to do in the second one from teaching the first one. So I had an outline, very, very, very rough outline. And then the first, it was it was like I got to like week 4 and I totally said, I was initially going to teach this and I realized, no, what the group needs is mindset stuff. how to get their work done, how to do B- work. That's where that concept came from. So it was like I was supposed to teach on something else, but coming after the third session, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't feel right to teach this. What I can tell people need is like how to get your work done. So we talked about the Pomodoro technique. We talked about B- work. We talked about like just vomiting stuff out there, testing, those kinds of things. And it was like, oh, that's what they needed.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will say too that Jillian made me create a lead magnet this week, and it was supposed to be a crummy Canva PDF. And you know what? Canva is so great that it doesn't look.
It doesn't look crummy. I saw this.
It doesn't. So if you want to check it out, that's the link there. It's a bit.ly link. It's the number 5 pin mistakes, all lowercase, all smashed together. If you want to check that out, this is my effort to begin to grow my list that I neglected for so very long. And this is an example, like that's probably how you did it, right? That's how you sold your 6-week courses through your email list. Yeah.
Oh, email is to be honest, email is the best way to sell stuff because somebody's raised their hand and said like, I'm interested in what you do. They want to hear from you. So again, back to the woman today who's like, oh no, can I send you emails a week? And I said, absolutely, just provide value. People will thank you. So absolutely. And so I think your email list is, and it's so funny. I asked this question in my podcast. I'm sure you've heard this many times when you say like, what's the one thing you wish you had done that you didn't do? Like I always say, what's one piece of advice? And everybody would always say, grow my list. And I'd be like, I don't know. I keep hearing that. And I wasn't actively growing my list and I didn't understand. And then what I put together, and I think this is really valuable, is like everything, if you sell anything, especially membership, product, coaching, whatever, it's a funnel. And the top of the funnel is social media, right? Or content. Like I'm creating like this is top of the funnel. But ultimately, when you get down to somebody really, converting and buying your product, it's typically you get them in via social media, but they purchase via email. So you want to use social media and your blog to get them on your list. But once they're on your list, there's like this intimacy that you can build, this connection that they go, yeah, you're my person. And that's what you want, is somebody to be like, oh, yeah, I like you. I'm going to open my wallet and take out my credit card and pay for something from you. Like how many times are you doing that because of somebody's Instagram post? Not that often.
Right. That's so true. All right, now I want to share an experience I had. I think I've had 3 different email service providers this month. And so it's been a lot of messing around with things. I switched to MailerLite at your suggestion. And I found it a little difficult to set up like the automation because I had assumptions about how it would work, and that was not quite it. So it's like setting up a landing page with the sign up form and all that was a little interesting. So what can Milotree Easy Payments, how can you help with that kind of landing page challenge?
So what we are building right now is a sales page creator. So it's not going to help you get email signups. You can actually use our pop-up, our Milotree pop-up to connect. You connect your email service. In fact, you have Milotree.
I do have Milotree. I should set up
hook it up to MailerLite, and then you can grow your email list from it. It's easy. All you do in Milotree, your pop-up, is add an image, like get my 5 mistakes or whatever. And then all they're going to do is just add their email address and it will automatically get sent to your email service. I'll talk to you about that offline, but that's a super easy way. And I would only set it up for email. You know how you can have it switch to different things? I would only set it up for email. But what we decided is, we say this all the time. In fact, we have a whiteboard right here. I'm going to write it on the board today. Technology's hard. It is. no matter what. Even for David, who can solve anything, like I can't tell you how many times he's cursing over there going like, oh my God. Now he can like figure it out.
Yeah.
That's the difference between him and me. He just has like all the experience to know how to troubleshoot stuff. But it's not easy. So for Milotree, what we're doing is we're building out an easy sales page that you can create in 5 minutes. And we're going to give you a template, and you can update the text to be personalized for your business. We will host it. You get to pick kind of your URL. We'll host it. It will have links for people to buy, and then you share it. Because what we realized is creating sales pages is hard. And it's like a friction point where people go, oh my God, like you, I could tell you're messaging me about MailerLite, like, oh my God, I don't understand this. And you were so like, I hate this.
Yes.
But who hasn't been there? Who hasn't been there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so, and I said, go with MailerLite because I think they're the easiest of all of them. And it's hard.
That's so funny. Yeah. I've had MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, and MailerLite this month.
Didn't you have ConvertKit?
I think I might have had ConvertKit for a little bit too. I understand, like those all work for me. I just having a mental block, but I'll get through it.
Yeah, I will walk you through how to do it. It's not intuitive. It's hard.
Really not.
Once you do it, you'll be able to duplicate it. Like for your next opt-in, it won't be hard, but that first time is hard. It just is.
It is. Really I think it works. Brian said he signed up, so let me know if you don't get it. But if you do want to try this out, milotree.com/easy payments is how you can get in on the beta. And right?
Totally. And by the way, if you have any questions or anything and something doesn't make sense, I am here to help. And you can always reach out to me at Jillian@milotree.com. I read all my emails. I get back to everybody. And I just my goal is to help creators find new ways to make money. We put out so much content. We are of service so much that instead of just being on this hamster wheel of like, I've got to serve the algorithms, serve the algorithms so they serve you back.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So as you've been talking to people, we've learned people don't like technology. It's hard. What else have you learned that might be useful to someone just getting started?
People who have memberships get tremendous value, personal value from serving their audiences. Like that is the special sauce. So it's not just a way to make money. It's a way to build real connections and really help and solve problems for people. And I think that for me that's this recurring theme I'm hearing over and over again, that it's not creating the course. Because even, let's say I create a course because I want to help people. It's like, here's my course, and I put it out to you, and then you're consuming it, but you're not connecting to me.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it cuts out that middle piece where all of a sudden you are connecting to me. So also, by the way, because we're always trying to learn from our audiences, it is the best way to learn from your audience. So my membership is all about us learning what people are struggling with. That's how we came up with the idea for Milotree Easy Payments. Like we're like, whoa, people it was a couple people who had big Facebook groups. And they're like, I want to build a membership because I have this community of people, but I don't know how to set it up. So I said, you know what, I'll do it for you. And I I connected like MailerLite to whatever. And I did all this stuff. And I'm like, this is really hard. Like if this person who's not super into technology is going to try and figure this out herself, there's no way. And there was money in her community. So it's money for you, satisfaction for you, satisfaction for the people, and you're helping people in their lives. Like to me, that's like win, 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 all over the place. But for her, when I set it up the first time, and it was like trial and error and all this stuff, I thought to myself, there is no way she could do this. No way.
Yeah. So how did she, and maybe how would you recommend we get people from that free group like she had to a point where they're pay for something?
Oh, okay, because she's got this engaged Facebook community, and these people will follow her off the face of the earth.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like she says, hey, go here, like go to my blog and check this out. And they go, hey, I'm doing this freebie, or like they go. Hey, and they're the kind of people, like these are the people you want when like you don't show up one day and they're messaging you going, where are you? Are you okay? Like
Yeah.
those are those people who, when you say, hey, do you want to join my group? Like, let's say it's knitting, right? Oh, and this is also something that I think is so lovely. Let's say your expertise, okay, for you, painting, ready? You could host a Zoom painting session where everybody shows up together. Let's say you do a session, 2 sessions a month, which is what like my sweet spot. And one session is you show a new technique that you've discovered that you wanted to share, something like that. And then you show up again in a couple weeks, 2 weeks later, and everybody's got their project out. And everybody's painting together. And you're talking about it. People are asking questions. People are talking about their grandkids or their children or the new house they built. You know, they're moving to Atlanta. Those kinds of things. But that, like, I've heard of people like showing up and crafting together, knitting together, painting together. So it doesn't have to be like this thing where everybody's sharing their problems. I mean, you could do that if that's your thing. In fact, somebody I was talking to like runs a group for people with food issues. And they get really deep and talk about it. And she's the leader, she's the camp counselor, and she's got the like, you know, she's the kind of expert. And she's got the degrees, you know, and so they're like together working through the food issues that people are struggling with. So there, it can be that, but it could also be, let's show up and paint together. How lovely does that sound?
We've got a volunteer here.
Yeah!
Let's do the painting.
And especially, I think, as we've been so isolated, there's something so nice about coming together with a shared activity, a shared love. You don't have to talk politics. You don't have to, it's just like lovely. You know, let's all be creative together. Let's hold the space for us all to just be creative.
That's nice. Okay. Well, this has been fantastic, Jillian. I hope we have people out there thinking, yes, I'm going to do this. Let us know. Are you going to try a workshop? Are you going to try our membership? Do you need some more convincing?
Do you need more convincing?
Do I need more convincing?
Would you do a workshop?
Would I do a workshop? Yeah, I think I would do a workshop.
All right, we're going to talk about it.
Okay. She'll make me do it too.
I will totally. Put up your freebie again.
Okay.
So get the freebie, because you'll get on Alisa's mailing list, and then you'll find out when she's going to be hosting her workshop.
Yeah, it's a bit.ly link, 5 pin mistakes, number 5 pin mistakes, all lowercase, all smashed together.
Yeah, and these are good mistakes. I mean, things you don't want to be doing on Pinterest.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for being here, Jillian. I'm going to share your banner one more time to go sign up for milotree.com/easy payments, or email Jillian at milotree.com. She means it. So
I mean it. I do.
So take advantage of that. Get to see some funnels in action. Absolutely. Thanks for being here, Brian and Della and everybody else. Really appreciate you. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks again, Jillian.
Thank you.